on SiriusXM channel 127. It is Monday, January 11th. And by the way, breaking news, this just in, 2021 actually does not begin until January 20th at noon Eastern time when Trump is gone and Joe Biden is sworn in, because this is worse than 2020 right now, what we're seeing. So if you're upset, don't be. 2021 actually begins January 20th at 12:01 p.m. Look forward to it. In fact, it's 9 days or about 210 hours from now. Not that I'm counting the hours, but I am. You know, the continuing the fallout is going on now of what we saw, this violent insurrection in the name of Trump by MAGA supporters, where we've learned over the weekend they killed a police officer by beating him to death with a fire extinguisher. And this police officer was a U.S. military veteran who served 2 tours of duty outside of this country, protecting this country, only to be killed in the United States by Trump supporters. That's where we are. And you want to, and I have to say that I've been wrong about something. Many times on the show, I've said, I don't believe a big percent or even any significant number of Trump supporters would support violence. I've always said I think it's less than 1%, something fractional at best. Well, there were 2 polls that came over the weekend that came out and proved me wrong. And I have no problem saying I'm wrong when I'm wrong. But I'm wrong in a way which shows I was naive, which I fully didn't understand the depths of the commitment of Donald Trump's base. And maybe I shouldn't be surprised, because when white supremacy is challenged, it always resorts to power. It always resorts to violence to keep power. Throughout history, whenever a white supremacist power structure has been challenged, it always resorts to violence. And we saw that when I'm getting at 2 polls over the weekend. Now, while 90% of all Americans do not approve of what they saw Wednesday, this attack on our Capitol to keep Trump in power, stunningly, 22% of Republicans, just 22% in a Reuters poll, said they approve of the actions of the protesters. And backing that up was a Marist PBS poll, 18% of Trump supporters said they approve of the actions of the protesters. Keep in mind, that percentage might actually be higher in that for 2 reasons. One is random pollsters are calling these people up and they're saying, yeah, I support a terrorist attack on our Capitol. I would imagine some might support it deep down and not say it. Secondly, polling has never really captured the support of the Trump base accurately. So I don't know. I'm not going to speculate what number it is, but I have a feeling it's much more than 20%. And even at 20%, considering Donald Trump got about 74 million votes, it means about 15 million of our fellow Americans, 15 million, are down with violence to keep Donald Trump in power. That's where we stand right now. And, we saw something on Wednesday I don't think anyone thought we would ever see in the United States of America. It should stun and disgust anyone who believes in our system of law, who believes in our Constitution, who believes in a robust, vibrant democracy. Yet over 20% of Republicans approved of that attack, which killed a police officer, which destroyed private property and was a threat to members of Congress and the Senate. And now we have Republicans, what's the reaction of Jim Jordan, one of the leaders calling for no certification of the votes, one of the amplifiers of Trump's lies, Jim Jordan, Kevin McCarthy, and other Republicans are saying, no, we can't impeach now because, as Jordan actually said, unity and healing doesn't happen with impeachment. So they want unity now. If there's any chance at unity, it's going to take 2 things. One is holding Trump and everyone else involved in this coup attempt responsible. They must be held accountable. They must face consequences. They must be punished. Second, the GOP's got to ferret out the over 20% of the extremists in their party, because if they don't, that's going to metastasize. It's going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to take over their party. It's going to be, the GOP is going to be like the IRA, which got a political wing and a military wing. And I'll tell you this, I have no doubt there are Republicans and Trumpers watching who are down with that. They love the idea of the GOP having a military wing, because to them, it's just about power at all costs. Why not use violence to get what you want when you can't convince people because you have no ideas as a party? So first and foremost, the GOP, if they want unity, here's how you do it. Join the Democrats in impeaching and removing, if possible, Trump before January 20th. I don't think the calendar is going to allow that no matter what. But then at least join in the impeachment vote, which is likely going to happen Wednesday, making it very clear you stand with America over Donald Trump's insurrection. And then when it gets to the Senate, I hope overwhelmingly the Republican senators join with Democrats to disqualify Trump from ever running for office again. Secondly, and this is really important, 1 in 5, if not more, Republicans are down with violence to acquire and retain power. You've got to think about that. 1 in 5 at least are cool with the idea of using violence to acquire and retain power. The GOP, if they do not root those people out, eradicate them by making it clear at the very first, announcing things along the lines of elected officials. If you support QAnon or any groups that are involved with violence, the Proud Boys, we are going to, if we can, expel you from the party or support a primary challenge. We're not going to fund you from the national party. Second, to the rank and file, make it clear. If you support violence, we don't want you in our party. You are not welcome. And make it really loud and very clear. So there's no games, no wink, wink. We don't want you. And perhaps then we can bring that 20% down. Because if not, I can assure you in a year or two, that 20% will be much, much higher. Because the GOP always moves to the right. They move to the right on issue after issue, from issues about women having right to choose their own body. At one point, they were not as active on the whole pro-life, as they call it, movement. Then it became they're okay with abortion in 3 scenarios. Now they're down to 1, only the life of the mother. And there's even Republicans now pushing back against even having that exception. My point is the GOP always moves to the right. They become more reactionary. In this case, that means the party will, no doubt, if they keep losing elections, they will embrace violence more and more. And that's what we're going to deal with, a paramilitary force out there that's involved in violence, truly the essence and definition of fascism, which I'm writing about more, and I'll share more tomorrow with you on the show about how this is fascism. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. I mean it truly historically and academically. It's up to the GOP. I mean, the roadmap is clear. Join us in denouncing Donald Trump. The sad reality is most Republicans have been silent in denouncing Donald Trump. Many have been more vocal in being angry at Twitter and Parler than they are at Donald Trump's attack. So first, join us in rebuking, condemning, denouncing, and voting against Donald Trump in Congress. Second, you got to root out the terrorists, especially you people on the right who for years, and I'm Muslim American, for years told us Muslims, you know who the terrorists are. I mean, Donald Trump in the 2016 campaign said point blank, Muslims have to turn the people in. They know who they are. He said it. Well, we know you know who they are. You got to turn them in. Look at the pictures of the people who stormed the Capitol. I bet you recognize some. Work with authorities, first and foremost. And second, send the message they're not welcome in your party. The same way Muslims made it clear, we want no extremists. We want no terrorists in our community whatsoever. That's not what our faith is about. Well, show us what your party is about. Here's your time, GOP. You're either going to become the fascist movement or you're going to remain a political party. It's your choice. We're at a crossroads. America's watching. I'm hoping this one time, the GOP will pick America over their party. They have disappointed us every time in the past when that question has come up. But we just had a coup. We just had a violent insurrection. And maybe this one time they will do the right thing for the good of this country. So we'll talk about that and more on my show. We've gotten so many phone calls, so join us and be a part of our conversation on this issue. My show's on Sirius XM channel 127, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you don't subscribe to Sirius XM, but you're at home, go to the Sirius XM website, SIRIUSXM.com. There's free trials. Check it out. Come to my show, 127, 6 to 9 p.m., channel 127, Progress. Give us a call. Be a part of our family. There's a lot more work to be done. Remember, if you want progress, stay active. Thanks for tuning into the preview of tonight's Dino Buidala Show on Sirius XM.